I'm just here to tell you today that your relationship will not succeed without forgiveness. I can hear you. Oh no, not another sermon on forgiveness. We've heard it all before. Maybe you've heard it all before. But the more I study and learn about forgiveness, the more convinced I am that forgiveness is like this multifaceted, precious gemstone with so many aspects to it that we could sit here and talk about it all day long and we'd never get it all. I want you to visualize a time in your life when you have experienced yourself or seen someone else and you kind of felt for them just go through a really humiliating experience. Think about maybe on the basketball court, you see somebody make a steal and they go down to the other end and it was so clean and so quick that nobody even bothered to respond. They're down there all alone under the basket and they're going to make this slam dunk and boom, and it hits the back of the rim and out it goes. They missed a slam dunk. How could you miss a slam dunk? It happens. People laugh and sneer and jeer. Even their own fans will boo them and heckle them. It's just embarrassing and humiliating. You can feel crushed and hopeless. It is just a horrible feeling. And think about some time in your life when you've experienced something like that, where you feel the judgment of everyone condemning you and criticizing you, and how could you have messed that up? That was so simple. That is just an awful feeling. And people tend to respond to that feeling in two ways. They'll get angry and fight back, or they'll just continue to feel that hurt and just withdraw. And neither one of those responses promotes growth or connection. Two things that are really extremely important in the health of your relationship. So you know how awful that feels. And if we can mess up, slam dunk, whether that's on the basketball floor or whether you botched a simple recipe with a special event for family and friends, or maybe a friend or your spouse needed an errand run and you could help out. They needed something important delivered or picked up and brought to them, and gosh, right on my way, easy, I can do that. Yeah, I'll get that done for you. And then you forget. Slam dunk, you missed the slam dunk. How could you do that? Well, think about if we, in all of our human flaws and weaknesses, we can miss a slam dunk in whatever area of life that is for you. If we can mess up those simple things, how much more likely are we to mess up some of those things that are more difficult and complicated, like relationships? So one of the most common and frustrating things that happens in our marriages and in relationships is just feeling like our spouse needs to change. We wish and hope that they would change something about them, something in some way, something needs to be different, and it is just frustrating that it's not happening. And when we are feeling like that, we are not forgiving. That is not forgiving. And that feeling is going to come out. Your tone of voice is going to have an edge. And people toss their head and roll their eyes and flip their hand. All those body language things, it's going to come out. And it's mocking, it's jeering, it's humiliating. It's like, you messed up and how could you do that? We are holding them in that. We're creating that energy that they can't move on. So if you want to create change and growth in your relationship, you've got to create the environment and create that feeling where that can happen. Forgiveness does that. Forgiveness creates that environment and that feeling of being able to let go, move on. It stimulates growth, it brings connection, it empowers change. It empowers you to change because you can be cleansed and healed by forgiving. It empowers them to change because they don't feel bound down under the weight of other people's judgment, of your judgment. It empowers them to change by letting them get past their mistakes and their weaknesses and grow and move on. We all need forgiveness in order to grow, in order to change. Every day, we need that every day. So I'm just here to encourage you to empower your relationships, empower your marriage. Allow it to grow and to change by forgiving every day. Little things, big things, just forgive. Empower change.